The endocrine system general functions of hormones. Help regulate extracellular fluid, metabolism, biological clock, contraction of cardiac and smooth muscle, glandular secretion, some immune functions, growth and development, reproduction. Endocrine glands defined. Exocrine glands secrete products into ducts which empty into body cavities or body surface. Sweat, oil, mucus, and digestive glands. Endocrine glands secrete products, hormones, into bloodstream. Pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pineal. Other organs secrete hormones as a second function. Hypothalamus, thymus, pancreas, ovaries, testes, kidneys, stomach, liver, small intestine, skin, heart and placenta. Hormone receptors. Hormones only affect target cells with specific membrane proteins called receptors. Circulating and local hormones. Circulating hormones act on distant targets. Travel in blood. Local hormones. Paracrines act on neighboring cells. Autocrines act on same cell that secreted them. Lipid-soluble hormones. Steroids. Lipids derived from cholesterol. Thyroid hormones. Nitric oxide as gas. Water-soluble hormones. Amine, peptide and protein hormones. Modified amino acids or amino acids put together. Serotonin, melatonin, histamine, epinephrine. Eicosanoids. Derived from arachidonic acid, fatty acid. Prostaglandins or leukotrienes. Hormone transport and blood. Protein hormones circulate in free form in blood. Steroid, lipid, and thyroid hormones must attach to transport proteins synthesized by liver. Improve transport by making them water-soluble. Slow loss of hormone by filtration within kidney. Create reserve of hormone. General mechanisms of hormone action. Hormone binds to cell surface or receptor inside target cell. Cell may then synthesize new molecules. Change permeability of membrane. Alter rates of reactions. Each target cell responds to hormone differently. Liver cells, insulin stimulates glycogen synthesis. Adipose, insulin stimulates triglyceride synthesis. Action of lipid-soluble hormones. Hormone diffuses through phospholipid bilayer and into cell. Binds to receptor turning on/off specific genes. New mRNA is formed and directs synthesis of new proteins. New protein alters cell's activity. Action of water-soluble hormones. Cannot diffuse through plasma membrane. Hormone receptors are integral membrane proteins. Receptor protein activates G protein in membrane. Results in amplification of hormone effects. Amplification of hormone effects. Single molecule of hormone binds to receptor. Activates 100 G proteins. Each activates an adenylate cyclase molecule which then produces 1000 CAMP. Each CAMP activates a protein kinase, which may act upon 1000s of substrate molecules. One molecule of epinephrine may result in breakdown of millions of glycogen molecules into glucose molecules. Control of hormone secretion. Regulated by signals from nervous system, chemical changes in the blood or by other hormones. Negative feedback control, most common. Decrease/increase in blood level is reversed. Positive feedback control. The change produced by the hormone causes more hormone to be released. Disorders involve either hyposecretion or hypersecretion of a hormone. Negative feedback systems. Decrease in blood levels. Receptors in hypothalamus and thyroid. Cells activated to secrete more TSH or more T3 and T4. Blood levels increase. Positive feedback. Oxytocin stimulates uterine contractions. Uterine contractions stimulate oxytocin release, hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Both are master endocrine glands since their hormones control other endocrine glands. Hypothalamus is a section of brain above where pituitary gland is suspended from stalk, surrounds third ventricle. Hypothalamus receives input from cortex, thalamus, limbic system and internal organs. Hypothalamus controls pituitary gland with different releasing and inhibiting hormones, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, growth hormone-releasing hormone, growth hormone-inhibiting hormone. Major integrating link between nervous and endocrine systems. Anatomy of pituitary gland. P-shaped, half-inch gland found in cellulothoracic of sphenoid. Infundibulum attaches it to brain, hypothalamus. Anterior lobe, adenohypophysis, equals 75% develops from roof of mouth. Posterior lobe, neurohypophysis, equals 25%. Ends of axons of 10,000 neurons found in hypothalamus. Neuroglial cells called pituocytes, development of pituitary gland. Events occurring between 5 and 16 weeks of age. Flow of blood to anterior pituitary. Controlling hormones enter blood. Travel through portal veins. Enter anterior pituitary at capillaries. Anterior pituitary cells. Human growth hormone. Produced by somatotrophs, somatostatin, of anterior pituitary. Within target cells increases synthesis of insulin-like growth factors that act locally or enter bloodstream. Common target cells are liver, skeletal muscle, cartilage and bone. Increases cell growth and cell division. Thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH. Hypothalamus regulates thyrotroph cells. Thyrotroph cells produce TSH. TSH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of T3 and T4. Metabolic rate stimulated. Follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH. GnRH from hypothalamus controls gonadotrophs. Gonadotrophs release FSH. FSH functions. Initiates the formation of follicles within the ovary. Stimulates follicle cells to secrete estrogen. Stimulates sperm production in testes, luteinizing hormone, LH. GnRH from hypothalamus stimulate gonadotrophs. Gonadotrophs produce LH. In females, LH stimulates secretion of estrogen. Ovulation of oocyte from ovary. Secretion of progesterone. In males, stimulates interstitial cells to secrete testosterone. Prolactin, PRL, hypothalamus regulates lactotroph cells, PRH. Lactotrophs produce prolactin. Under right conditions, prolactin causes milk production. Suckling reduces levels of hypothalamic inhibition and prolactin levels rise along with milk production. Nursing ceases and milk production slows. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. Corticotrophin RH stimulate corticotrophs. Corticotrophs secrete ACTH and MSH. ACTH stimulates cells of the adrenal cortex that produce glucocorticoids. Melanocyte-Stimulating Hormone. Secreted by corticotroph cells. Releasing hormone from hypothalamus increases its release from the anterior pituitary. Function not certain in humans, increased skin pigmentation in frogs. Posterior pituitary gland. Does not synthesize hormones. Consists of axon terminals of hypothalamic neurons and pituocytes, neuroglia. Neurons release two neurotransmitters that enter capillaries. Antidiuretic hormone. Oxytocin. Oxytocin to target tissues both involved in neuroendocrine reflexes. During delivery, baby's head stretches cervix. Hormone release enhances uterine muscle contraction. Baby and placenta are delivered. After delivery, suckling and hearing baby's cry stimulates milk ejection. Hormone causes muscle contraction and milk ejection. Antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Known as vasopressin. Functions: decrease urine production, decrease sweating, increase BP by retaining water. Thyroid gland on each side of trachea is lobe of thyroid. Weighs 1 ounce and has rich blood supply. Histology of thyroid gland. Follicle equals sac of stored hormone, colloid, surrounded by follicle cells that produced it. T3 and T4. In between cells called parafollicular cells. Produce calcitonin, actions of thyroid hormones. T3 and T4 equals thyroid hormones responsible for our metabolic rate, synthesis of protein, breakdown of fats, use of glucose for ATP production. Calcitonin equals responsible for building of bone and stops reabsorption of bone, lower blood levels of calcium, parathyroid glands. 4 pea-sized glands found on back of thyroid gland. Histology of parathyroid gland. Chief, principal, cells produce parathyroid hormone, PTH. Occipital cell function is unknown. Parathyroid hormone raise blood calcium levels. Increase activity of osteoclasts. Increases reabsorption of Ca+2 by kidney. Promote formation of calcitriol, vitamin D3, by kidney, which increases absorption of Ca+2 and Mg+2 by intestinal tract. Opposite function of calcitonin. Regulation of calcium blood levels. High or low blood levels of Ca+2 stimulate the release of different hormones, PTH or CT. Anatomy of pancreas organ, 5 inches, consists of head, body and tail. Cells, 99%, innocently produce digestive enzymes. Endocrine cells and pancreatic islets produce hormones. Cell organization in pancreas. Exocrine inner cells surround a small duct. Endocrine cells secrete neurocapillary. Histology of the pancreas. 1 to 2 million pancreatic islets. Contains 4 types of endocrine cells. Cell types in the pancreatic islets. Alpha cells, 20%, produce glucagon. Beta cells, 70%, produce insulin. Delta cells, 5%, produce somatostatin. F cells produce pancreatic polypeptide.